vision plan tonight, and I really hope that you will take a minute when you get home. Don't kill trees. I don't want you to print it, but when you get home, get online and you'll see the website where you can go see more information about the vision for this creative district. And we hope that all of you will find a way in which you see yourselves here, or a way in which you see yourselves getting involved with the implementation of this vision as we move forward. So our vision is to create a creative district that is the city's creative center, focused on production and consumption. We're local entrepreneurs, and we define entrepreneurs very broadly as artists, musicians, designers, makers, manufacturers, tech people. Everybody is under this creative umbrella. And both creative entrepreneurs and residents thrive, and locally designed goods and original works are made and sold. That is the vision for this creative district. So just to give you a context of where the creative district is, and I think I have a pointer. Aha. This dotted box is the boundaries of the creative district from a planning perspective. So this is by no means a definitive boundary of a district, and that it will always, only exist between these dotted lines. But it is the very start of where we put our first area of focus to connect what's happening on Market Street further west into the neighborhood. When you look at all of the creative and cultural assets that ring this area, you can see the logic behind why we chose this area. You have major institutions, anchor institutions like the Grand, Christina Cultural Arts Center, the Queen, the DuPont Theater, the Delaware History Museum, World Cafe Live. I mean, this is just a sampling of some of the major institutional anchors that we have along Market Street. And then along Market Street and in the neighborhood, creative industries, smaller things like the Poetry Slam at St. Andrews and Matthews, and social service groups like the Outstanding Creative Vision Factory, and smaller organizations like David Bromberg and Associates Fine Violin. So we have this whole cluster of creative things happening in Wilmington. And then you go on the for-profit entrepreneurial side, and you've got AB&C Creative Intelligence and Barron Media and the Coin Loft and all of these fantastic assets. And so the whole purpose of this Creative District Vision Plan is to put our arms around all of that and more, to grow all of that, and to say, how do we take all of these wonderful physical and spiritual and community assets that we have in our community and grow that to really make Wilmington a destination for creative individuals and people who appreciate creative industries. So we have 4 recommendations in our plan. The first is to organize to establish the district as a designated district, to deal with any zoning overlay and things like that that can make things like welding a permissible use in this district, whereas now it would not be, and create a management structure for all of the activity and the promotion and the marketing of this district. The second is to cultivate community. This is one example of how we cultivate community. How do we get everyone together and talking about what might be possible in this neighborhood, where we promote some strong networks and some social capital. So there's a number of recommendations in the plan, and we're just going to give you a couple of highlights. Some might be temporary vending and mobile opportunities for locally produced goods, or big major festivals. The Renegade Craft Fair is a great example that's in major cities around the country. It's an amazing festival. And then more things like the amazing art loop that happens on the first Friday. How do we create more of that opportunity? Placemaking is the third recommendation. Placemaking is about experience. It's about that sense of place in this community. And it can be anything from street furniture designed by local artists. It can be alternative pavement treatments, temporary streetscape treatments that create a buzz, lighting treatments, murals and galleries, temporary lighting installations. All of these things will help create that sense of place in this district. I love how in our plan, and you'll see this if you look at the document, they take some pictures of buildings that need a little TLC, and they try to make them look a little prettier by making them pink. So you see this every now and then. I appreciate it. And so this image is like one I talked about earlier. If you picked up these houses and you moved them in this old city in Philly, they would look like they fit in. This is the exact architecture that we have in Wilmington. It just has a lot of deferred maintenance and needs a lot of TLC. The last recommendation is about making space for creativity. So how can we guide the development in this area to support the creative production and consumption opportunities that we're looking for? And it's things like live workspaces like Shipley Lofts, consumption spaces like galleries, shared workspaces, performance spaces, office spaces, production spaces. It is all important to the overall look and feel and experience that people will have in this creative district.